Yeah, we asked Steph about this. I know you've talked about it, but can you just speak to the frustration of allowing two goals that came, almost immediately after other goals?
You're talking about when they scored one and then the second one,
Yeah.
and then they scored.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not so sure. I understand your question, Jeremiah. Certainly, after a goal is scored or a big event, the next 5 minutes is critical. Coaches say that all the time. I understand that. I'm not so sure the first sequence in the second half was part of that. I definitely think that their third goal was, that old coach is saying for sure. Next 5 minutes, you got to keep on top of your opponent. But the first two goals were just individual mistakes. Well, first one, individual mistake. Ymar stepping into no man's land. Jackson trying to keep him onside. The two center backs made mistakes there. The second goal off the set piece was disappointing because we'd cleared the ball. They stepped up. Somehow their guy ran past again, Jackson. So not quite individual mistakes, but certainly not defending from one of the best defensive teams in MLS last year. Not at all.
Masvita, go ahead.
Yeah, Brian, just staying with that. I know we've talked about the disappointing, or you mentioned the back line wasn't maybe playing up to its par, but did the midfield have a role in that as well in terms of their connectedness to the back line or some of those goals at all?
No. Are you talking about Sota and Danny?
Yeah, I mean, on one of them,
talking about Albert on the third goal. I mean, yes, in some ways, the midfield is connected. The forwards are connected to the back line. They should be. But, individual mistakes have to stop happening. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. The goal against Colorado, should have happened. It's just, we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Overly aggressiveness or not being patient, or just all of that and just making bad decisions?
Well, Maz, you can look at the tape, but again, the first goal comes from, we lose the ball up on the right-hand side and, okay, technical ability, the bad pass, decision-making, whatever it was, but you get a center back that steps into no man's land. The other center back has to come across to try and help. It's never good. It's never good. Then on the kickoff play, the ball goes out somehow out to Espinosa. Nuhu's 20 yards up the field, creates a big gap between Nuhu and Jackson. They exploit that space. They go down and score the goal.
Thanks.
I'm not so sure the midfield, is at fault for those, but it is a team sport.
Thanks.
Jada Evans, go ahead.
Thanks, Brian. With that, is this a situation where you look to make any changes then with the back line, or is there still too much to juggle as far as even with the injuries and people coming back and all that?
Yeah, it's a good question, Jada. Look, the team has still not, had its full complement of players. I mean, it was great to have Ymar back. It was great. Look, my expectations for Ymar, I think, were in line. Having Steph come back, that Albert, when he came on the field, was positive. I think that was a positive influence. So I think it's a little too early to kind of threaten guys with, okay, if you're not playing well, you're going to be removed from the lineup. Again, I think we still have a great team. We will, when everybody comes back, have that subtle pressure. When Reed comes back, when we get JP back, when we get, Josh and Obed back, Albert looked great, so he's ready to start. So there will be subtle pressure on guys if they want to start. But as far as coaching staff coming up with crazy lineups, no, we're not going to go there.
And then can you talk a little bit more about Danny and Sota? I mean, it seems that I've only seen that in training, the both of them together. I might be wrong, but can you talk a little or evaluate a little bit of how they did today?
Well, they were okay. mean, look, it wasn't as fluid as maybe we would have liked, but we took certain steps to kind of help the two young kids. You know, we wanted to bypass at times midfield. You know, Jackson is so good on the ball. His passing is so good. We didn't need short passes into those two. We wanted to find Raul in the pocket. We wanted to find Christian in the pocket. We wanted to find Tevez in the pocket in the first half. It didn't manifest itself as much. We also asked them to play a little bit more direct with Dylan, with Christian and Jordan. But we never just, it seemed like we were rushed in that first half. So, you know, Danny was fine. Sota certainly was okay. And they were excited to play.
Again, media, if you'd like to ask a question, please use the hand raise function in Zoom. Jeremiah, we can come back to you for a follow-up. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess we haven't really asked you about this, but you're winless through 4 games. Was this I don't know, how would you assess this one? Is it a step forward in some ways? Is it a step back because of the defensively? Yeah, how would you sort of assess this?
Well, we scored a goal from the run of play. There's a positive. You know, we talk about set pieces. I mean, Danny Leva's corner kick to Yaimar, who's completely unmarked on the 6-yard box. And the corner kick in the first half should have been a goal. Jordan Morris, you know, good movement up front. You know, early in the first half, he had that time where he dribbled to his left and the goalkeeper made a save down low. You know, Danny Leva found him early in the second half on a breakaway. Jeremiah, I thought we created some stuff. So the step back was definitely our defending, which, you know, has been our strong point.
All right, guys, last call for questions. We'll circle back with Masvita for your follow-up. But if no other hands up, this will conclude us. Masvita, go ahead.
Brian, second half, did Christian move in the middle and Jordan move on the wing? And if so, what were you looking for in that when you made that move?
Yeah, we put Jordan on the left, Raul up front. Christian was playing the number 10 for a while until we brought Albert on. There were some changes, some shuffles just based on the scoreline and trying to get guys involved. But, you know, when you're down 2-0, you try to make some changes through just positional changes when we first came out of halftime, and then we made subs to try and change the game as well.
And then the positive, staying with that, it looked like the ball was moving faster with the intentionality in the second half. Is that a fair assessment?
It's a fair assessment, but look, when a team goes up 2-0, sometimes they let their foot off the gas. Yeah. The opponent that's down 2-0 raises the level of their performance. I think there's things to it, but certainly the insertion again of Albert, I thought that was a big positive. I thought when he came on, he added some quality. And the guy you just interviewed, I thought Danny Masovsky brought some quality, some good moments. You know, he won some headers early. You know, he was active. You know, and look, that was a great goal. I mean, Cody Baker came on and sparked the team. I mean, that was a great cross and a great header. So yeah, a couple of positives. But look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, this is disappointing. Certainly disappointing.